That's right. Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of my brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you get our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.99. They truly are the best sheets ever. And with the biggest closeout special, we're clearing out our all-season My Slippers for only $25 and our sandals for just $19.50. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
This is Mary Ann's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Mary Ann packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation. You can speak and pronounce with confidence. Start speaking a new language in 3 weeks at Babbel.com.
Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com. Former Vice President Mike Pence finally made it into the upcoming Republican primary debate set for later this month. His embarrassingly slow fundraising almost kept him out of the showcase, which will include 7 other candidates. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star is really getting the job done. Officials report that Texas law enforcement has saved at least 900 kids smuggled across the border by cartels. Polls are showing that Americans aren't buying President Biden's claims that the economy is great. And no wonder, as gas prices have surged 30 cents in just the last month. And Dilbert creator Scott Adams is back. He was canceled by woke media in February over comments he made about a poll on black racism. First, Dilbert was taken out of papers, and then his new book was shelved, but now it is set to be released in September. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stinchfield. By now, you have probably heard the name Devon Archer, the Biden family insider, Hunter's best friend and business partner, who confirmed to congressional investigators that Joe Biden took part in upwards of 20 conference calls with foreign business leaders at Hunter's request, some while Joe Biden was still vice president. Devon Archer confirmed in that congressional hearing much of the pay-to-play influence peddling scheme Hunter appeared to be selling across the globe, even to our enemies. But have you heard of another man by the name of Eric Schwerin, another one of Hunter's close business associates, the founder of the now infamous Rosemont Seneca that Hunter was also the main partner in, the firm Hunter moved so much money through. Some describe Schwerin as the Biden family bag man. This is a guy who visited the Obama White House and then Vice President Biden's residence as many as 36 times between 2009 and 2016. Probably many more times, but we don't know about those because the Obama White House won't give up records as to personal visits. So now Eric Schwerin is the next target of the House Oversight Committee. They want Eric Schwerin's testimony. Peter Schweitzer of the Government Accountability Project describes Schwerin like this.
The next shoe that may drop is there's another individual involved with Hunter Biden named Eric Schwerin. If Devon Archer was the sort of business guy, the deal guy, and how you structure this, Eric Schwerin was the money guy. He's the guy that moved money around, and based on the Hunter Biden laptop, Schwerin had access not only to Hunter Biden's accounts, but also Joe Biden's accounts. So when he testifies before the committee, it's going to be interesting to see what he says and what pressure he might be under from this administration.
In fact, many close associates of the Bidens agree that Eric Schwerin handled almost every financial aspect of the Biden's life, including Joe Biden's life. Schwerin appears to have been present as well at that infamous Cafe Milano dinner back in April of 2015, where then Vice President Joe Biden showed up for dinner with Hunter, his deal-making buddies, and a top Burisma executive. Yes, that Ukrainian energy firm that Hunter got so much money from. And it goes beyond that. According to many of Hunter's emails from that laptop from hell, Schwerin was present at business meetings with Hunter and South American politicos, helping to put all kinds of deals together, which is why many Republicans investigating the Bidens believe Schwerin could be key to Joe Biden's impeachment.
I think it's going to solidify what we already know and what there's already evidence of the bribery and the corruption of Joe Biden when he was vice president, taking actions while he was president to help out the Chinese Communist Party, associates and businesses that his son was affiliated with. There's evidence that he was taking money, and I think it is long past time to begin impeachment proceedings in the House.
Well, I would agree on that. The reality is Eric Schwerin may know far more about the inner workings of Biden Inc. than even Devon Archer, which is why House Republicans requested that Schwerin provide them all of the positions he held with the Biden crime family and to divulge any communications he has had with Joe and Hunter Biden since 2009. That would be a very long list.
The president said he had no involvement except dinners, phone calls, and 30-plus meetings with Hunter Biden's business partners. I mean, and 30-plus meetings, 20-some phone calls, dinners with the wealthiest woman in Russia, and all they talked about was the weather, we're supposed to believe, and the Democrats say this is some illusion of access. That looks like real access to me when you got 30-some times Hunter Biden's business partner is showing up at Joe Biden's house or at the White House having meetings with the vice president while he's vice president.
Now, here's another reason why Joe Biden and Hunter Biden ought to be nervous. On that laptop from hell, there was an email found where Hunter Biden scolded Eric Schwerin when they talked about moving money around and giving his father a certain portion, saying that you've been terminated for gross negligence. Schwerin may still hold a grudge over that email. Maybe he wants to hang Hunter Biden out to dry. We shall see. Joining me now, former Chief of Staff to the Acting Secretary of Defense under President Donald Trump. He's also the author of the upcoming book, Government Gangsters, available for pre-order now. Kash Patel is with us. Kash, great having you back on.
Hey, I feel like we're making this a weekly thing, so thanks.
Well, it's awesome, and the viewers love it too, Kash, so I appreciate it. What do you make of Eric Schwerin? How important is this next character in the cast of characters in Biden Inc.?
Well, look, for me as a former national security prosecutor and public defender, in terms of evidence, the thing that never lies is money. Always follow the money. It's how we cracked the code in Russiagate. It's what led to the original sin. And surprisingly, but not surprisingly, it's what led us to Judge Chutkan. And we talked about on your show last week why she needs to recuse, because she's tied to the funding of the dossier and Fusion GPS. Now let's fast forward to Joe Biden here. All roads go back to Russiagate. Well, this money, I guarantee you, is going to have been known to the FBI and DOJ by the same government gangsters in James Comey and Chris Wray's FBI. They probably just buried it. My thing with Congress is I'm glad they're finally putting this out there. But Grant, if I can be a little critical, we're 25 to 30% through a Republican majority in terms of timeline, and we're just getting going on this guy. It's not like they just figured out who he was yesterday. Why didn't all these subpoenas go out on day one? I don't understand why we are so polite when it comes to investigating corruption, and we send letters and ask you mother may I's instead of show up or we're taking your money.
Look, I was told that House Republicans asked for Schwerin's communications with the Bidens, as well as what businesses he was involved with. And that was in April of 2022. They asked for that. And he just snubbed them.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? Remember the January 6th committee? I was the first guy subpoenaed by that committee. They didn't call me. They didn't text me. They didn't call you. They subpoenaed me, leaked it to the Washington Post, and called me in the middle of the night. I have no problem going in and testifying. We neutered their falsehoods about January 6th, and we're going to do it again if this Trump trial ever goes to trial. But with this type of investigation that you pointed out in April, And we're here in the summer of 23. What are the Republicans doing when it comes to subpoena power? And why haven't they subpoenaed the FBI and DOJ, specifically impeaching Garland and Wray, for the documentation about this? There is no way the FBI doesn't have any documentation on the Schwerin guy. I bet you they got every single bank transaction buried in the FBI's headquarter building at Hoover, because they know the Republicans will never go in there and mine for it.
All right, you've been so instrumental in uncovering the Russia collusion hoax, and your time as a prosecutor. You had to investigate all of these cases. Jim Jordan, who I have great respect for, says he's not ready to subpoena Hunter Biden yet. Could these two committees work in conjunction where, say, oversight subpoenas Hunter, let them go on a fishing expedition on that questioning, and then Jim Jordan can wait and subpoena him later to come in front of judiciary after they collect the evidence, or the other way around. They're worried about not having it all before they get Hunter in front of them. Why not use both committees and subpoena him before both committees?
It's genius. Look, we would not have had the success in the House Intel Committee with Russiagate without partnering with Chairman Grassley and his committee in the Senate. And we didn't care who got the credit. We just wanted the information out there. So you're absolutely right. Comer could, for example, take on all things Hunter Biden, Burisma, and all those meetings, Cafe Milano, where they orchestrated the pay-for-play scheme and the fraud and the bribery allegations. And then Jim Jordan, who is doing great work, can go ahead and subpoena and impeach Garland and Wray. So take on the two pillars that are destroying our two-tier system of justice, DOJ and FBI, and on a parallel track, take on the actors in the private sector, Hunter Biden, Burisma, Schwerin, and everybody else, and get them in there before Congress. So we, the American people, have the evidence and the documentation needed to prevent another rigged election.
All right, last question for you, because I know you're on time constraints. Eric Schwerin allegedly had access to all the accounts. Joe Biden's accounts, Hunter Biden's accounts. I mean, this is like the keys to the Biden castle here. I mean, it would think you would think he knows everything about the money coming and going.
Yeah, what we have here, let's just use a loose analogy. We have the videotape to the bank robbery and the guy's not wearing a ski mask, and we don't want to press play. This is unbelievable. And it's going to be castigated as another right-wing conservative myth or fake news line of inquiry if we don't get the American public the receipts. And the only lever we have of doing that, and I'm not being unduly harsh on the Republican majority, they're doing great work, but you guys are the only guys and gals we have to get this information out. So if you don't use your subpoena power and you send letters and text messages and emails, we're talking to their lawyers, and they said they'll get back to us in 4 weeks, and then 4 weeks goes by, and you're in recess, and you'll get back to it in another 8 weeks. That's insufficient. Too much is at stake for our constitutional republic and putting Donald Trump back in the White House. We have to fix the DOJ and FBI. And this guy that you're talking about, Schwerin, I'm glad, Grant, you're talking about him. We need all the documentation, all the bank records, because money never lies. And I bet you the FBI knew about it. And there's going to be millions from China to Biden to Burisma to the Ukraine to Rosemont Seneca. And it's all going to go to Hunter Biden. And it's all going to go to one more guy, Joe Biden.
That's exactly right. Let's get him in front of the committee. Eric Schwerin I'm talking about, then Hunter, all of them, as far as I'm concerned. Kash Patel, I so appreciate you coming on. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
All right. Don't forget, folks, the book is Government Gangsters, coming out very soon. You can pre-order it now. Kash, always great having him on the program. All right. I want to turn from the Joe Biden stuff to President Trump stuff. It's rare we ever report on some good news. I made mention of this the other day. You have Judge Eileen Cannon, who is running what I call the boxes hoax out of that Florida courtroom. She scolded Jack Smith for what? For using a D.C. grand jury in a Florida case. It's basically unheard of. She wants him to report back as to why he is doing that. I'll tell you why. It's because he's stacking the deck. Well, joining me now is Trump attorney and author of the book, Stealing Your Vote. Our friend Christina Bobb is back. Christina, welcome back.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. So I wanted to get some good news in when constantly the mainstream media is barraging us with bad news. But Judge Cannon here at least appears to be fair and is asking the correct questions. Why are you using a D.C. grand jury when the case is in Florida?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's funny about this is it's timed so closely with the January 6th indictment. And we have heard the talk in the news about potentially trying to change the venue from January 6th to try to get a fair trial. And the left came out swinging against that, saying, no, you have to bring it in the district in which the crime was allegedly committed. And you have to use the district. You know, they've been so forceful on January 6th that you can't move venue and you can't change it. And you have to do everything in the district. Yet the same special counsel down in Florida is not doing that in his own case in Florida. And so I think it's very appropriate for Judge Cannon to simply ask the questions and say, you know, why aren't you using the district in which this case is brought? So her questions, her inquiries are appropriate, and any outcry from the left will only hurt their argument in the January 6th case because they can't have their cake and eat it too.
So, you know, one of the things we do on this program all the time is expose liberal Democrat hypocrisy. And this falls right into that. In all your time as an attorney, had you heard of a grand jury in a different district? And this district, not just, you know, in the same state, a different district. This is like north and south. It's
preposterous. And from the looks of what Judge Cannon, the order that she issued, or the questions she asked, I don't think she's heard of it either. No, I've never heard of a grand jury in Washington, D.C. working a case in Florida. It doesn't make sense. It's not compatible with the law, and I think she's right to ask the questions. And I'm very curious to see Jack Smith's response or his team's response, because clearly, you know, from an outsider's perspective looking at this, it looks like they're just, as you said, trying to stack the deck. Why else would they be doing this? Why can't you use a Florida grand jury to make your case? And, you know, we have the whole saying, you can indict a ham sandwich. It's not hard to get what you want from a grand jury. And if Jack Smith is so concerned that he can't use a Florida grand jury, he has to try to rig the system and use a D.C. grand jury to bring something in Florida. It's because he doesn't believe in his own case. He knows he doesn't have a case, and he's got to try to rig it up in D.C.
Let me ask you a little bit, if you could bring me inside the campaign, Team Trump here. Everything is going wrong when it comes to the weaponized judicial system, when it comes to the courts, when it comes to the FBI. Everything's going as right when it comes to the campaign. I mean, the campaign is on a rocket ship straight to the White House, in my opinion. When you get a positive ruling like that, I'm not going to say it's a blockbuster ruling. It's the right ruling, but it's positive in a sea of negatives when it comes to the judicial system. I mean, are you high-fiving? Are you stumped? Are you, like, dumbfounded that finally somebody inside a courthouse sided with President Trump?
Honestly, it's just that's the right ruling, and let's keep moving forward. I don't think there's, you know, high fives or, you know, attaboys for the judge following the law. It's funny that we feel that way because we're so used to the two-tier justice system, but the fact that the judge followed the law, it's like, well, that's right. So we should just keep going. So I think it's just, you know, another day, keep moving ahead. And I think the team in Florida is doing a great job. And I think they're going to continue to do a great job and handle this case very well on behalf of President Trump.
All right. Lastly, I know you've been out and about with the president, campaign trail, all of these things. Do you feel what I feel, that momentum is now completely 100% in President Trump's favor?
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question that he's the Republican nominee. Certainly, we just have to get through the process. But this is President Trump's race, both as the Republican nominee and as the president. His gap in the Republican pool is only growing, and the same is true in the general election. I think President Trump is doing extraordinarily well, which is why they're bringing these indictments, right? If they thought that they could beat him or if they thought they could rig the election against him, they wouldn't be bringing these indictments. They would try to make their win look legitimate, but they don't care. They're just doing whatever they can to try to control the outcome of the 2024 election.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was over the weekend. President Trump just said exactly that. He says, if they want to run against me so bad, then why are they bringing all these indictments to get me out of the race? So, you know, he makes a point. And again, it gets back to Democrat hypocrisy, the theme of the program lately, over the last few years, for that matter. Christina, Bob, it is always a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Grant.
All right, sounds good. All right, folks, we will head down to the southern border, okay, to show you new evidence of child trafficking and more cartel influence. We'll also take you overseas to show you what happens when open borders are in place for too long. That's next.
Every detail counts. That's why I live my life with Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose. I value quality, cutting-edge tech, and performance. When I began experiencing hearing loss, I knew I needed the best of the best. Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose are app-controlled and self-fitting, which means I can tune and customize them to my needs and preferences on the Lexi app and enjoy high-quality hearing. No appointment necessary. From ordering my first pair online to front door delivery and the secure, discreet fit, Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose offer quality, convenience, and exceptional customer support at every step in my journey. If you're ready to elevate to the next level with world-class hearing, take the lead and call or order online at lexihearing.com to receive your Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose today.
Call 800-472-9053 today to find out how you can get your Lexis at 80% less than prescription hearing aid prices.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how you can get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Funerals can easily cost $9,000 or more, but government benefits pay only $255. If you're between 40 and 85, get your free Funeral Advantage Guide. Help keep your family financially protected with up to $20,000 cash immediately.
It's so easy. Just answer a few simple health questions.
Funeral Advantage is something we'll all need. There's no risk or obligation.
Call 1-800-317-2700.
Well, folks, if there's one thing Europe can do, it can show us how not to run your border situation. Open borders in Europe have caused such a catastrophe in almost every country there. As you see criminals come in, they have become bold, they have become unafraid, and the entire cities from Paris, France, London, England, have become absolutely crime infested. Well, we sent our own Ben Berkwam over there to show us exactly how bad it's gotten because of their open border policies. He filed this for us today. Watch.
Hey, Grant. I think it's day 6. They've all kind of blended together at this point. It's been a wild trip. Amazing coverage. A lot of these times we don't know exactly what we're going to get. I started in Sweden. Oscar started in Amsterdam. Now we're back in Amsterdam. We went down to France. I went to several spots along France. What Oscar found in Calais is incredible. You hear the airplanes behind us. We've got an airport there. But what we found is basically everything that we're seeing in America is tied to what we're seeing here in Europe as well. Many of the people we spoke to, actually Chuck Holton, who we were here with, you know very well, former Army Ranger. He's providing us security, but he's also working out here as well. He sat down with some guys from Afghanistan. We went to the no-go zone in Paris yesterday after I was almost attacked at the Eiffel Tower by illegal migrants who were selling goods but didn't want to be filmed. We were down there in this no-go zone. He went and sat with these guys from Afghanistan, and they all said, They're coming to America. They're waiting for their visas to get to America. So I guess we're still giving out visas to get to America. That's what these guys said. We talked to several others that were going to the UK, but ultimately they wanted to go to America as well. The message is out there. The word is out there. Open Borders Leftists, the United Nations, these Catholic charities, NGOs are training people. All you have to do is it's basically like leapfrog. You get into and country shopping. You go from North Africa, from the Middle East, you go to France, you go across the Mediterranean Sea, you come in, then if you want to get to the UK, you try to get to the UK. If you can get to America, you get to America. They have setups all the way along the way. And then in the meantime, these guys are living like hell in these hovels with 15 people in one place with tents inside of abandoned buildings. It's the same thing everywhere. France is getting overrun. Sweden is getting overrun. The UK is overrun. The big difference, though, Grant, is the immigrants that we get, the illegals that we get into America, mostly Central America, Mexico, South America. We are getting Africa and the Middle East. But when you're here in Europe, it's almost exclusively the Middle East and Northern Africa, Central Africa. And so one of the things they're dealing with here that we haven't had to deal with yet, but we will, are the terrorists. They're having terror attacks on Christians almost every single day. They're having terror attacks against Christian churches bi-weekly. That's what's happening, and it's all connected to the Open Borders Leftists. Now stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going somewhere. I can't tell you where we're going yet, but it's going to be possibly the most exciting part of this trip. We'll see, but God has been opening doors the entire way. So stay tuned. Real America's Voice News. Love you guys. Grant, back to you, sir.
All right, Ben, thank you so much. A special thanks to Patriot Mobile, too, for sponsoring Ben and Oscar's trip to Europe. Go to patriotmobile.com. Use promo code RAV for free activation. You see this phone right here? This phone is a Patriot Mobile phone. All right, folks, with me now, I want to first play a clip. Anthony Aguero is down on the southern border, our southern border, and it's unbelievable what has been going on down there. We know we talk a lot about child sex trafficking. Kids are used for this coming across the border. They're also used as just plain old pawns to get across the border as props. Watch this interaction that Anthony shot.
No reaction from the child. Look at her limp arm. Her veins are visible right now out here where it's just been sitting, hanging over his shoulder like that. No reaction to that child's face whatsoever. You see her eyes don't react? This other child doesn't react either. Look at that. No reaction.
So that concerns me. Now, I am a dad, and I know kids can go into a very, very deep sleep. But at the very least, you would want those kids checked out. My question is, where's Border Patrol for all of this? With me to discuss is Real America's Voice border correspondent Anthony Aguero, who helped shoot that video. He is live in Mission, Texas for us tonight. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Grant. What you guys just saw out there on that. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. Just such troubling video to watch that. You just are praying for these children because I believe they're crime victims and you want to help them. Tell me the situation.
It's feeling a lot like it was 2-3 years ago down here at the border, Grant. Where we're seeing children and massive rates coming across. Last night alone, we saw an uptake. We saw 19 children with the first group of migrants, 19 unaccompanied children out of 93 migrants that came across as family units. That's not counting the children that were brought up across by single adult males. You saw here on just a video just a few seconds ago, a little girl with a single adult male. After that video, I shot that video, I walked up to the guy. I began questioning him where the mother was. He could not really even give me a straight answer. I started asking him, how old is the little girl? He was hesitant. He kind of just threw a number out. And then just to piggyback off of that, I asked him the girl's birth date. And he redirected me to the paperwork he had, basically. He didn't have a straight answer. He could not provide me the year of this little girl's birthday. You and I are both fathers, and we know that when our children are asleep, but when you go in the middle of the night to check on them and you hit that light switch, most children are gonna have a reaction to the light. They might readjust themselves. But especially even so, Grant, when you have an industrial grade flashlight that has thousands of lumens, I mean, it is impossible. It would be nearly impossible for you to get hit with that flashlight and not show any kind of vital signs.
Yeah. Anthony, this is not your iPhone flashlight. I know the flashlight you and Ben and Oscar use down there lights up the whole coastline of the Rio Grande. The kids don't react. You had mentioned about their veins. Do you think that they're being drugged so they're quiet as they come across?
Grant, what I'd like to share with your audience is the following. These children are deliberately drugged with what experts have told me are Rohypnol, a.k.a. roofies, a.k.a. the date rape drug. They give these children Rohypnol to keep them sedated, because if a child does not speak up to a Border Patrol saying, hey, this is not my dad, unfortunately, Border Patrol will not have a way of figuring this out, because the Biden administration has now taken away any kind of protocol or any kind of decision making that Border Patrol may have done a DNA test. All of that is off the table now. So they've got to go by what these criminals are telling our Border Patrol agents. And unless this little girl was being able to be vocal for herself and tell Border Patrol, this is not my dad, unfortunately, these children get fed into the system. They then get released with these individuals. These individuals then contact the organized crime that rented this child to him. The child then returns to Mexico and then does the process over with another male. These children, this is what we call the recycled children of the border, Grant.
Wow. It's heartbreaking to see, and yet the Biden administration ignores it for their own personal political gain, and the kids are the absolute victims in all of this. There's some video you shot. I'm going to put it up for the crew. This is video 7 of what you believe is cartel members coming across with vests. Can you explain to us what we're seeing here and what this is?
So these are cartel members that spilled over into Fronton, Texas. Fronton is a unincorporated community south of Roma, Texas. Roma, Texas being one of the neighboring cities to Mexico on the U.S. side, which is being slammed with a firefight because there are 3 factors of 3 different cartels trying to fight over control of that plaza. What you saw right there is nothing less than the Wild Wild West, so to speak. It is cartel violence that is now spilling over into the U.S. side, and these people are playing guns and robbers all along the U.S. southern border in people's backyards. I was actually out there with a group of that goes by the name of TrackaSystems.com, and TrackaSystems.com is a group of veterans that are out here on the border with thermal heat technology. They are volunteering this technology to us that will be taking this 35-day tour at the border to be able to capture footage just like that, where we were able to capture Border Patrol agents, 2 Border Patrol agents watching and observing traffic coming in from Mexico, Grant. The mouth of the water and the Rio Grande, when it hits the Gulf Coast, it is very, very minimal water going into the Gulf Coast. So much so that you can drive a vehicle, you can drive a dirt bike, and as we got closer to the actual coast, we came across these 2 agents who had been seeing vehicles come back and forth from the southern border into Mexico. Now, these vehicles are going up our coastline, Grant, and they are circumventing a Border Patrol checkpoint that has been placed in front of SpaceX. They are circumventing that checkpoint and going straight into Port Isabella, which is basically the coast for South Padre Island.
This is the reporter that nobody else is doing down there. You're putting yourself in harm's way. I truly believe that. God bless you for that. I want you to stay safe through it all. I'd love to talk to the organization you're working with, too, if at some point maybe we could make that happen and get them on, because that's important work they're doing. Please say prayers for our crew down on the border and, of course, overseas doing work to get you the story the mainstream media isn't bringing you. Anthony Aguero, thank you. All right, folks, one thing that I take very seriously is my health. I try to eat right, but with my schedule, it's not always easy. I know I need fruits and vegetables like 6 cups a day, but that's nearly impossible for me to do. And according to numerous studies, people who eat healthy live longer. clear. It's common sense, right? They have less heart disease, diabetes, and less cancer. So I use Field of Greens, and I'll tell you why. Unlike other fruits and vegetable supplements, each specific fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens is medically selected to support specific functions, like heart health, liver and kidney health, immune system, and metabolism. Field of Greens works fast, and if you're like me, you'll feel healthier, have more energy, your skin and hair will look healthier, and it can help you lose weight. But the biggest benefit is the better health promise. Take Field of Greens. If your next doctor's visit, they don't say something like, whatever you're doing, man, keep it up. Well, return Field of Greens for a full refund. Help you get started. I got you 15% off your first order, plus get another 10% off when you subscribe for reoccurring orders. Visit fieldofgreens.com. Use promo code GRANT. That's fieldofgreens.com, promo code GRANT. Trust me, guys, it's great stuff. All right, folks, the left's climate scam continues. The New York Times says it's too hot to take summer vacation, and the Biden administration wants to put stricter emission laws in place. I'll tell you why this is all about control. A psyop, some say. We'll talk about it next.
This is Marianne's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Marianne packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre. Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation. You can speak and pronounce with confidence. Start speaking a new language in 3 weeks at Babbel.com.
The secret of every great chef is their knives and how well they sharpen them. Imagine a knife taking this much abuse and didn't need sharpening. Imagine no more. Introducing the incredible NutriBlade knives from Granite Stone. Coated with Granite Stone non-stick and made of stainless steel. One of the hardest substances on earth for ultimate cutting-edge durability. Now everyone can chop, slice, and dice just like a pro.
Very comfortable. Wow. Very sharp. I thought you had to be a professional chef to cut like this.
Yeah. Woo! This is really an incredible knife.
The Easy Grip rubberized handles deliver incredible control and accuracy. To chop salads in seconds, cut frozen solid meat with ease, and get razor-thin slices every time. The non-stick surface means food slides right off, and they're dishwasher safe. Plus, they'll stay razor sharp, guaranteed. Why pay hundreds? Today you'll get this complete set of 6 NutriBlades for only $29.95. You'll get the powerful Santoku knife to chop large fruit and dice onions. The slicer for razor-thin veggies and deli meat. The serrated bread knife for slicing fresh, warm bread with ease. The ultralight chef knife with reduced surface area for less friction. This versatile utility blade is great in the kitchen and around your home. And the precision paring knife for peeling and garnishing. $29.95 is an amazing value, but order right now and we'll even ship them to you for free. So get your own NutriBlade knives from Granite Stone, the last knives you'll ever buy.
To order, call 1-800-980-0994 or go online to buynutriblade.com. That's 1-800-980-0994 or go to buynutriblade.com. Order now.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. Don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Both books are yours free, just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-899-6246.
Folks, we know the left loves to use psychological operations, a psyop. I believe in many respects that's what COVID was about. I think we're now experiencing a climate psyop. They're using fear to control us, using bogus climate nonsense to control us. Look at this headline from the New York Times. It reads, "Is this the end of summer vacation as we know it?" Blaming climate change and the heat that no one's want to go out anymore. And then this is Joe Biden just yesterday using fear.
You know, we've seen historic floods
more intense droughts, wildfires, spreading smoky haze, which I could sense today, thousands of miles. Record temperatures affecting more than 100 million Americans this summer. Over 100, I need not tell you, all over 110 degrees in Phoenix for 31 straight days. You know, extreme heat is America's #1 weather-related killer. Extreme heat kills more.
Oh my God, give me a break. It's Phoenix, Arizona. It's been 110 degrees in the summer there forever. Okay? This is nonsensical. And then who can forget about this? I guess we don't have global warming anymore. It's global what? This is the UN Secretary General.
For the entire planet, it is a disaster. And for scientists, it is unequivocal. Humans are to blame. All this is entirely consistent with predictions and repeated warnings. The only surprise is the speed of the change. Climate change is here, it is terrifying, and it is just the beginning. The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived.
Global boiling, folks. Global boiling. I don't think so. That man, by the way, according to the Daily Caller, they did some great research on the UN Secretary General. We can put that up on the screen. Basically, they are saying that he is a longtime socialist. In fact, the president of Socialist International, a global network of national socialist parties seeking to establish a totally fake and bogus term, democratic socialism around the world. Folks, please welcome Mark Morano to the program, Climate Depot publisher and former senior staff at the United States Senate Environment and Public Works Committee. Mark, you're the one who first started talking about this climate change psyop. It fits right into what they did with everything else, like COVID and the like, with this just using fear to control us.
That's exactly what this is. This is a psychological operation. And just to define that term, this is used by intelligence agencies. It's used in time of war. It's a propaganda technique usually employed by governments in order to get the population to believe something and give you only selective evidence and propagandize and misleading stuff. And with the clip you just played, Grant, of Joe Biden was about the greatest example of a psyop, psychological operation you could have played. He claims that we're getting worse extreme weather. Even the United Nations, even the National Climate Assessment, hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, droughts, wildfires are either on no trend or declining trends on 30, 50, 100 years. You know how Joe Biden gets his trends? They pick one day in July and claim it's the hottest in 100,000 years. It wasn't. They get one ocean temperature and claim the oceans are boiling, they're hot tub temperatures. It wasn't. It was one ocean buoy that wasn't even technically in the ocean, in shallow, murky, dark water full of sediment that even NBC News had to expose that claim as a fraud. And what Joe Biden said about extreme heat is the biggest killer is absolutely false, according to all available data. Cold kills 8 to 20 times more than the heat. And in fact, if we are having a general warming of the earth, whether it's human or natural causes, we're saving 166,000 lives a year because the winters are less cold under that scenario, because cold kills, not the heat. And this is absolutely the definition of weaponized weather, weaponized information, just like we saw in COVID. Everything was made in COVID to get you to comply with lockdowns and church closures and school closures and vax mandates. And now they're getting us to go after collapsing energy, transportation, and agriculture.
Look, I live in Texas. It's been pretty hot here this month, but it's Texas. We have hot summers and we have okay hot summers. But this has been a hot summer. I don't attribute that to global warming. Things are cyclical at times. Now, I tell you what I do get. I get emails all the time. Turn off your air conditioning. Conserve between this hour, that hour. All that. This is all about control. Let me run this little cut for you. Cut 7. Roll it.
All being told we have to have smart meters in our homes. So instead of your old-fashioned electricity meter, which just counts how many kilowatt hours you've used, you'll have a smart meter which is connected to central government, and that will give central government the ability to switch off appliances in your home when the wind isn't blowing. If push comes to shove, if things get really bad, they will be able to switch off your heating, because you'll have a heat pump, and they can just switch that off.
Mark, I believe that's true, that in the name of saving all of us from ourselves, they will want this control, and that's why they scare us with climate. Smart meters are a great example of that.
They are, and this isn't theoretical. I mean, we saw, first of all, the New York Times reported on this years ago. They compared it to the old TV show Outer Limits. Don't touch that dial. Second of all, we know in summer of 2022, last summer, the Colorado utilities intentionally stopped people from making their house cooler during a heat wave under an alleged energy emergency. These people had signed up for smart meters, weren't aware of it. Now, the New York Times is saying we have to stop summer vacations because we've taken too many and we've made the earth a hellscape of dystopia. So they actually suggest in this article in the New York Times that we have to stay at home instead and huddle around our air conditioner to stay cool. But you flip that, we have a fight between the bi-coastal elites because the LA Times is claiming that you can't stay home and huddle around your air conditioner. They want to use blackouts in order to prevent global warming. They want you to go to local government cooling centers where government would provide free transportation. They don't think we should even be allowed to huddle in our own homes at the air conditioner. We got to go to a shelter and do it. Now, this could end up being a battle like we had in the 90s, the East Coast rappers versus the West Coast rappers. It's the New York Times vision of air conditioning versus the LA Times vision of cooling shelters. But either way, whatever paper wins that battle in terms of their dystopian vision, we're all going to lose as American people. We have to fight this agenda. This is the greatest con they're imposing on us, telling us we have to give up gas stoves and pizza ovens. Yeah. And even Mayor Bloomberg had a report a few years ago saying we can only allow 3 new articles of clothing per person per year by 2030 because of the carbon footprint of clothing. This is real. It's happening. People who say climate lockdowns are a conspiracy haven't looked at France, which has actually banned 2.5-hour flights or less to save the climate. The EU is looking at 6-hour bans. This is now, the here and now, not theoretical of the future.
Yeah. Scary stuff. And again, it's all about fear. Don't be afraid, folks. Do your own research before you submit to that fear. Boy, I can't say that enough. Mark Morano, Climate Depot is the website. We so appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Grant. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Coming up after the break, those 7-Eleven workers who stopped a robber are now being investigated. You remember that story? This is in Stockton, California. I called it. I said, you wait and see. They're going to charge the shopkeepers instead of the crook who was stealing cigarettes. Blue states are just letting crime happen. We'll have more on that coming up next.
Sometimes you don't realize what's not covered by your dental insurance until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company is important. This isn't some discount plan. It helps cover things like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures at any dentist you want, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, visit dentalnow.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we take pride in providing such a special symbol for our country. All of our flag's materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Windshields are impossible to clean. You stretch and strain. What a pain. And a dirty windshield can be downright dangerous. Introducing the Hurricane Windshield Wizard, the one tool that does the reaching and cleaning for you. Windshield Wizard uses the power of microfiber with a pivoting head and ergonomically designed handle to make cleaning windshields quick and easy.
The Windshield Wizard makes it so easy to clean my windshield by myself.
The secret's the specially designed handle that fills with plain tap water and dispenses at the touch of a button. There's no need for glass cleaner since the microfiber bonnet cleans streak-free using just water. So no matter where you need to reach, the Hurricane Windshield Wizard cleans all your car's glass like a magic wand. And it folds away for space-saving storage. Take it inside to clean windows and mirrors. It can even clean and polish a stainless steel fridge without chemicals. Use the Windshield Wizard dry for dusting. The added reach is like an extra arm for hard-to-reach places. The microfiber bonnets are washable and reusable. Cleaning a dirty windshield is hard work. But with the Windshield Wizard's pivoting head and built-in sprayer, you can clean it in seconds without straining. Call or click now and get the Hurricane Windshield Wizard for just $19.99. We'll even include an extra microfiber bonnet absolutely free. But wait, order now and you can double this entire offer. Plus, you can also get the Battle Visor, the snap-on visor that blocks the harsh glaring sun and keeps you safe on the road. Just pull it down to see the entire picture in crystal clear high definition and see things you would otherwise miss. Just pay a separate fee. And if you call right now, we'll ship everything to you for free. That's 2 windshield wizards, 2 extra microfiber bonnets, and the Battle Visor, all with free shipping and handling, but you have to call or click now.
Call 1-800-477-9841. That's 1-800-477-9841. Or visit getwindshieldwizard.com. So call 1-800-477-9841. Order now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Folks, I have to show you the video because it just typifies what we're up against in these blue cities and blue states. This is in Stockton, California. A thief basically trying to steal all the cigarettes into a garbage can, and the shopkeepers fight back. Roll it. So,
ain't nothing you can do there. There's nothing you can do, man, until you call police.
Stop playing.
Ain't nothing you can do, man, until the police come on.
As well they should. I called them heroes for stopping this thief. And watch how it goes down. Good. He deserves every one of those beatings. You don't steal people's stuff. Well, early on, I told him. I said, you watch, the prosecutors are going to go try to charge those shopkeepers for assault. Well, they haven't done that yet, but we have learned that prosecutors, the cops, are investigating. They're, quote, probing the possibility of charging these shopkeepers for assault. You know, you don't think they're getting tired of people stealing their stuff? This was the headline in the Daily Mail. Cops probe Sika 7-Eleven owners for assault after they beat a brazen thief stealing cigarettes from their store. The thief had stolen 2 other items and threatened to shoot staff a day before. That's defense of your life, folks. This would be an absolute travesty if prosecutors go anywhere near those 2 shopkeepers. Seriously, don't do it, because it just gives the criminals, again, the upper hand. Another story to tell you about, which is very troubling. Coming up August 26th, as you know, we covered a little bit of it yesterday, the disastrous pullout of Kabul, Afghanistan. We're learning more and more about how Joe Biden reacted with no remorse for literally getting 13 of our members of our military killed. This is injured Sergeant Tyler Vargas telling the story about what happened when he met with Joe Biden. Roll it.
Like, remember him coming up to me, trying to shake my hand. Like, try to shake my right hand. And I look at him, and I'm like, I don't have an arm. And my left arm is in this big cast with this giant orange foam block around it. I completely immobile. All I can do is move my head. My arm's gone. I'm like, I don't have an arm. And he says, oh, and like kind of stands up. And then like goes over to reach for my fingers, because about an inch of my fingers are showing, and just like grabs my fingers.
So that's Joe Biden in action for you. That poor man is a hero right there that you just saw on your screen. He deserves more from Joe Biden, like an apology, first and foremost. Something to tell you about out of Los Angeles. I just think this is absolutely phenomenal. We've got video of city workers picketing at LAX. City workers went on a one-day strike. And what do they decide to do? They decide to inconvenience the innocent. LAX is bad enough. City was saying show up an hour earlier because of these loons. And what is Mayor Karen Bass worried most about? She's worried most about the homeless. Look at her statement here. My office is implementing a plan ensuring no public safety or housing and homelessness emergency operations are impacted by this action. Action being a strike. She's worried about the homeless? The homeless don't care that you're striking. You know, they'll probably sleep later. They won't be woken up on the street by one of the garbage trucks driving by in the morning. They'll love this, the homeless people. That's who she was worried about, not worried about all of you or the people who live in Los Angeles. All right, folks, are you ready If disaster strikes, you should be. I don't think we're far off from it. We'll talk about how you can get prepared next.
This is Marianne's first time visiting Paris.
Où allez-vous?
Before Marianne packed her bags, before she attempted her first sentence in French, she downloaded Babbel. So when it came time to tell a cab driver to take her to the Hotel Pierre,
J'aimerais aller à l'Hôtel Pierre.
Oh, c'est très bien.
Babbel focuses on natural conversation, so you can speak and pronounce with confidence.
Language lessons for every summer adventure. Get 55% off for a limited time at babbel.com/TV.
Every detail counts. That's why I live my life with Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose. I value quality, cutting-edge tech, and performance. When I began experiencing hearing loss, I knew I needed the best of the best. Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose are app-controlled and self-fitting, which means I can tune and customize them to my needs and preferences on the Lexi app and enjoy high-quality hearing. No appointment necessary. From ordering my first pair online to front door delivery and the secure, discreet fit, Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose offer quality, convenience, and exceptional customer support at every step in my journey. If you're ready to elevate to the next level with world-class hearing, take the lead and call or order online at lexihearing.com to receive your Lexi B2 hearing aids powered by Bose today.
Call 800-472-9053 today to find out how you can get your Lexis at 80% less than prescription hearing aid prices.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that can save a child's life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved with LifeVac.
He was turning blue, and it happened really fast.
After several plunges of the device, a miracle.
As soon as I did that last pull, his eyes popped open, and he started gasping for air.
Place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
Here are some of the headlines we are featuring today from your favorite news outlets at offthepress.com. Former Vice President Mike Pence finally made it into the upcoming Republican primary debate set for later this month. His embarrassingly slow fundraising almost kept him out of the showcase, which will include 7 other candidates. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star is really getting the job done. Officials report that Texas law enforcement has saved at least 900 kids smuggled across the border by cartels. Polls are showing that Americans aren't buying President Biden's claims that the economy is great. And no wonder, as gas prices have surged 30 cents in just the last month. And Dilbert creator Scott Adams is back. He was canceled by woke media in February over comments he made about a poll on black racism. First, Dilbert was taken out of papers, and then his new book was shelved, but now it is set to be released in September. For stories like these and more updates all day long from your favorite news outlets, go to offthepress.com.
You know, folks, America's got a lot of vulnerabilities. One of the biggest vulnerabilities, I believe, is our electricity grid. Just from being overloaded, it's outdated, it's got Chinese parts, maybe China could shut it off, there's some evidence of that. Also an EMP, electromagnetic pulse attack. What happens if the power goes out in your area, in your state, and beyond? Are you ready? Do you have enough food? Well, joining me now is the Vice President of Sales at My Patriot Supply. I love this company. Joe Reek is with us. Joe, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, Grant. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. You know, a lot of people say, oh, great, you're a conspiracy theorist. But I think we got enemies. An EMP attack is real. The lights go out. Chaos ensues. Really, that's why My Patriot Supply, preparewithrav.com, is there, correct?
Absolutely. And what we try to do is we try to educate people as to how vulnerable we are to these things happening. In fact, there was a report that came out last week where they discovered malware from China inside of our power grid systems. And so when you talk about these things that could happen, the potential for some major catastrophe, we're not too far off. And Grant, what we try to do is educate people that you got to pay attention as to what's going on around you, and you got to prepare for yourselves because nobody's going to come bail you out if something like that were to happen.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's natural disasters and those types of things as well. I always joke, a man's got to eat. Well, a wife has to eat and the kids have to eat too. That's what you guys do. Do you lead people through the process of how much you need to buy? Because that can often be the most confusing.
It absolutely we do. We have a team of preparedness specialists, Grant, because not a lot of people know how to get started. Because when you kind of think about what you need to do to get better prepared, it is kind of intimidating. And a lot of people don't know where to start. So what we do here at My Patriot Supply is we try to educate families and people on what to do to get better prepared. We have several different items that lays it out for you so you can make that decision that's going to best suit you and your family. Because not every family is going to be the exact same. There's not a one-size-fits-all package. But when you go to preparedwithrav.com or you go to mypatriotsupply.com, you can see the different packages that we have that lays it all out for you. We make it very, very simple for you to get prepared. One of our most popular packages is our 3-month supply emergency food kit. This features over 21 different meal varieties, and these are meals, Grant, that have up to a 25-year shelf life. So this is something that you get, you put it away, it'll be there when you and your family need it. And it's going to be full of delicious, ready to eat meals that all you got to do is just add it to boiling water.
All right, Joe, so is that one kit per person in the household?
Absolutely. In fact, we recommend every member of your family needs to have at least a 3-month supply of emergency food on hand. And if you can't do it all at once, guess what? You can build up over time. But the most important thing, Grant, is you got to get